Map says our boys are supposed to be right on top of us, but I've got eyes on nothing. Maybe they're further out.
Officer, are you sure you don't have the map upside down?
Cut the crap, Private! They're probably just further ahead, but I can't see worth a damn through all this rubble.
Now, when I have your attention, in this video we are gonna talk about Empire of Japan and their starter army set. I really feel the Japanese are left out of the majority of Konflikt'47 content. It's time to fix that, guys. Even though I'm not playing them, and my voice is kinda boring, monotone, and stereotypical towards Eastern Europeans, and my pronunciation isn't the best, you won't have to listen to all that today, because I'm not gonna be the one who is gonna talk about them, but today's guest. Welcome, SKaR.
Thank you for having me on the channel.
Yeah, what's up? So, you should introduce yourself.
So I'm SKaR. I have a YouTube channel of my own. I do a lot of painting videos, and I especially have been focusing on Konflikt'47 recently. Relevant to our conversation today, I have been playing Konflikt'47 as the Japanese, and I've included a lot of the models, in fact, all of the models from the starter army in quite a few of my games, and so I have learned kind of some of the tricks in how to use them, but also what equipment we'd like to bring along with.
Okay, so let's get started with the first thing, the most important one, the platoon commander. So in the box there is like just one officer type, and that's the one in heavy assault frame. So what should I give him?
I absolutely love the assault frames. We'll talk about the squad of assault frames in a moment, but the officer themselves does have a few uses, and if you get lucky, like I did, you might actually have an extra submachine gun in the assault frame infantry box, and so you can convert the officer to have the standard assault frame set rather than the light machine gun. Giving him the light machine gun is not necessarily a terrible idea. It does make him slightly less effective in close combat, but it gives him a lot more fire suppression in that he's got 4 shots, and remember, that armor means he doesn't need a loader for the light machine gun. If you do manage to convert him to the machine pistol and sword, you will end up with 3 attacks in close combat. With the light machine gun, you get obviously better shooting, but you're only getting 2 attacks in close combat. I think either way can be put into good use. You just have to put the officer in the right place. So with the light machine gun, he's going to be around your infantry line and vehicles probably, and with the proper assault setup, he'll be up with the assault squad, kind of joining them, especially if you give him a point of guts. And the officer for the Japanese can take one of 2 options for his hero point. It's either a point of guts or a point of luck. And if you want to help out the assault frames, I would suggest a point of guts, because you can very easily, one of the best things you can do with guts is pull the order die off of the table, back in the bag, and get them to go again. So the assault frames are one of the most deadly assault units in the Japanese forces, so the officer can guts them and get them to attack twice in one turn. However, if you want to support the ghosts, which we'll mention again in a moment, the point of luck actually becomes much more handy, because every time you pull the ghosts off of the board for their jump ability, the Bonodrai, the ghost dance, they have to roll a leadership test. And if they fail that leadership test, they're just gone. They are dead. But if you have a point of luck, you can re-roll one of the dice on that and hopefully save them. So there's a few different ways to use the officer with the light machine gun or with the assault frame setup, and certainly you want to use a point of hero point. Hero point's absolutely fantastic. And the other thing to consider is that if you are getting up close and personal with them, giving an officer who's a single model the disposable anti-tank launchers only costs 5 points, and you can shoot that every turn of the game. So that's something to consider as well, because getting a pen 5 shot against an Ursus or a vehicle or something else can be really handy. So there's loads of options for the officer.
Let's talk about the ghosts.
Yeah, of course. So the Ghost is probably the coolest unit in the Empire of Japan. And coming up soon, at the time of recording, it's not out yet, but coming up soon will be a Ghost Platoon. But as today we're just talking about the ones in the starter set, these are the resin version, so they only come with one weapon set, which is the Shiboru rifle. Now, it should be fairly easy. If you're a Japanese player, you probably have some plastic sprues. You might be able to convert these over to have submachine guns, and there is some value to that, but I think the Shiboru rifle really is the more powerful option for them, and that's partly to do with how they're best used. So the ghosts can use the Bonodorai, the ghost dance, which means they can jump around the battlefield, but it's after they've had their move each turn. And so putting them into a very dangerous, aggressive position isn't necessarily a wise choice. But what you can do is move them behind a piece of terrain so that in the following turn, they can advance forwards, use one of their rift dice with the Shiboru rifle, which is very nice to use, and then use their second rift dice to then jump back, and sometimes even back to where they started, just behind that piece of terrain, or behind another piece of terrain ready for the next turn. Given that they have infiltrators, that makes them really good at that, so they can move 8 inches through terrain and fire and then dance away. Absolutely fantastic unit to use in that way. You could, I have seen people take the disposable launchers as well on this unit, on the ghosts, because you can get them up close to an enemy vehicle or, again, heavy infantry unit. But I think that's an upgrade better used elsewhere. And from what I've found, just using the ghosts as the models are set up, kind of no upgrades at all, just with the Shiboru rifle, makes them really effective as a harassing unit, especially as those Shiboru rifles have +1 pen natively against a vehicle. That becomes +2 when you're using a rift die.
Is the engineer upgrade worth it? I don't know nothing about the Japan unit, so help me with that.
So the engineer upgrade for the ghosts is an interesting one in that it doesn't do what you really think it does. On paper, the engineer's upgrade gives a unit the ability to assault an enemy unit in a building, and the enemy unit doesn't get some of the benefits of being in a building, like fighting first. However, the ghosts already have fieldcraft, which means they treat all terrain, including buildings, as open ground, and so you're charging across open grounds as far as the ghosts are concerned anyway. So it almost seems completely redundant to bring the engineers along. However, if you do bring, and this is kind of a really backwards way of thinking about it, but if you do bring a squad of ghosts with the engineers upgrade, you can put them in a slot in a platoon that only an engineer squad could usually be in. So that is probably the only thing that the engineers upgrade is there for. And if I'm honest, I think it's just a mistake, because that's a really niche thing. If someone's bringing an engineers platoon and they want to bring an extra unit of ghosts, that's the only thing I can think of that's of value. Outside of that, I would never take the engineers upgrade on ghosts because they have fieldcraft, and so they don't need that at all.
Thank you. So let's take a look at the Assault Frame Armored Infantry Squad.
So the Assault Frames, absolutely fantastic. Even though the Ghosts are kind of the fan favorite, the Assault Frames are my personal favorite. I think they are genuinely amazing. And if you can get a charge off with these guys, they are brutal. Some of the most dangerous assault units in the game. Not necessarily as powerful as something like an Ursus or a Schreckwolfen, but very nearly on that level. 3 attacks each, +1 pen each, and that means they can pull apart vehicles and heavy infantry, and they tear up regular infantry like they're not there. Absolutely fantastic. The best upgrade that you can give to an assault frame unit, and I know this is breaking the rules a little bit because we're talking about just what's in the box, but the best upgrade I would give them is a transport vehicle. If you can get them a truck or a Hokai, something else, so that they can get to the enemy faster, that'll be great. But if you're just talking about what's in the box, we actually do have one of the characters in the assault frame unit there does have the Yomiuri launchers, the disposable launchers, so you can give that to the squad. It would be 25 points to give it to the squad of 5, which isn't actually that bad, especially when you consider getting up close and personal to the enemy is what this squad does. And if they come across a vehicle, or again, heavy infantry, Stahltruppen or Ursus, having a bunch of rockets that they can launch off is really handy. So I wouldn't necessarily give them the launchers every time, but it's certainly something to consider.
Let's take a look at the more interesting thing, and that's the vehicles in Armored Platoon. For example, Chi-Ha! Light tank.
The Chiha is basically the mainstay of the Japanese, both in bolt action and in Konflikt 47. And it's definitely a model that you want maybe one, maybe three of, depending on your playstyle. Having it with the Shiboru cannon, which is obviously the intended way for Konflikt 47 game, is good. However, the Shiboru cannon adds about 80 points to the cost of the vehicle, and given the balance of the game at the moment, again, we're talking within a year of release of the game, so we're talking fairly early days, I don't think the balance is great. I do think it's good, it's just not as good as its points may seem. In the kit, however, you get the full plastic kit for the Chiha and the Chiha Shinhoto. The original Chiha has a light howitzer for infantry support and comes in at something like 140 or 150 points. Really cheap vehicle. With the Shinhoto, or the advanced turret, the replacement turret, it has a medium anti-tank gun. And with light armor 8, it is far cheaper than something like a T-34 or Panzer IV or a Sherman is going to be with the same gun. And so it's a really nice way of bringing one of the better anti-tank weapons that the Japanese get just using the plastic kit. However, if you do want to bring the Shiboru cannon, and you really should bring the Shiboru cannon because it is cool, the Shiboru cannon is very effective versus heavy infantry rather than against vehicles, unless you play extremely aggressively. And by that, I mean you get your Chiha Shiboru within 6 inches of the enemy tank or walker, or whatever vehicle you're trying to destroy. Because if you can get that close and get off the double hit, you can get a pen 9 hit out of this at point blank. And that's great. But you still have the options of the plastic turrets to make a far, far cheaper version, which frees up a lot of points for maybe some other things in your list. So what I would recommend is you absolutely just want to build all 3 turrets. I would say just pick one of the hull tops, because the kit has an early and a late hull top. Pick one of those, glue it down, and then just build all 3 turrets and swap between them. Now, interestingly, if you allow me to advertise myself for a moment, the kit has certain parts missing if you do want to make multiple turrets. Mainly, it is the cupola for the commander. What you can do is just not glue the cupola in and just swap it between the 3 turrets, and that's fine. I know a couple of people doing it that way. But I happen to have a 3D model for the cupola and some of the other parts for the Chiha available. I'm sure Klovek will provide a link to that in the description below, and so you can 3D print.
Joking.
No, okay, fine. I'll just
Joking.
I'll just have to put it on screen then. That's fine. But if you want to grab that, and you can 3D print the extra cupola to complete all 3 turrets without having to swap anything except for the turret itself.
Don't worry, I will. Okay, now about the Light Walker, the weird scorpion.
Oh yeah, the Type 7 Sassori. I adore this model. It is absolutely fantastic. When I saw it on the shelf at Warlord Games at the open day before it had been announced, I was just like, oh, that thing. I want that thing. I'm going to have that thing. And now I do. And it's amazing. So the Type 6 Sassori, which is the older one, was my favorite model from first edition. And so the Type 7 Sassori has taken its rightful place as my favorite model for second edition. Really, really cool looking thing. Paints up absolutely beautifully. However, just like the Shiboru Chiha, the Shiboru cannon on the Sassori does eat up quite a lot of points that it maybe isn't paying back, unless you be very aggressive, just like the Chiha. Charge up, get within that 6 inches. You can do the same with the Sassori. Now, the Sassori has a much better advantage at doing this, in that it's a faster vehicle. So it's 12-24 inches movement, so much faster, and it is a walker with arms, and so if it does encounter enemy infantry, it can just kind of walk through them and munch them up on the way, and on an advanced order it can do that and still fire the Shiboru cannon at an enemy vehicle. So it can, in the right circumstances, be very powerful. However, it is quite expensive, and so you do have to be very thoughtful about how to use it. Be wise, put it in the right place, and it'll serve you well.
Well, that's all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join my Discord server. Also, I'm sometimes streaming on Geek, but on majority of time I'm streaming on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram too. And remember, Jesus loves you, enjoy life, goodbye.
rough. Map says they're no. Oh wait, it's weird, dude. See, when I do this, record this normally, I don't have you guys listening.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you need...
No, it's fine because I'm gonna have to
I'm
play
not
guitar
listening,
live on
honest.
stream. I'm gonna have to play guitar live on stream. So
listen, like,
it's
if you...
now. So let's do it. Let's do a script read. Let's do a script read. Klovak, come on.
Okay. Do.
Map says their boys are supposed to be right on top of us, but I've got eyes on nothing. Maybe they're further out.
Sarge, are you sure you don't have that map upside down?
Cut the crap, Private. They're probably just further ahead. I can't see a damn through this. Hold on. But I can't see worth a damn through all this rubble. Okay.
Okay, do it
Oh, wait.
again.
Cut the crap, Private. They're probably just further ahead. But I can't see a damn thing through all this rubble.
Could...
Brah! Script, read, scene.
Okay, so I hit the record button now. I will cut out the part, okay? Now.
Okay. Map says our boys are supposed to be right on top of us, but I've got eyes on nothing. Maybe they're further out. Cut the crap, Private. They're probably just further ahead. But I can't see worth a damn through all this rubble.
Okay, this got fucked up the sound when you are dying, so do it again, like the...
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
just you dying.
It's probably... Hold on, wait. Real quick. I'm gonna turn off sound suppression. You ready?
Yes. It was worse. It was worse. Like they cut
How's
you
it worse?
out like
Oh, did it?
uh,
But I changed it. Input profile. Oh, studio. I see. Studio. Now you should hear every click and keyboard sound. All right, you ready?
volume. Volume is really like down. You need to speak louder.
My volume is down?
Nah, I can barely hear you.
Really? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. No wonder why. I hit the wrong. Wait, so input automatically adjusts input sensitivity. No. Crisp. I'm turning echo cancellation off. Let's try this. No. Let me turn crisp off. That's their noise suppression. Now, okay. Is that good? All right. That work.
Okay, now do one like something like you know.
Oh.
A little bit of lower note.
Yeah. Yeah?
A little bit
pick up?
louder.
You just want all these noises for yourself. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Has he been doing this to you too, SKaR?
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just gonna make some weird videos with us.
Hey, you've got a massive chunk of my voice now.
Yes.
True. I know. We got to do something British. We haven't done any Brits.
I did a reel of some very, very British, jolly good show and all.